right, so let's get into it. We have the Two of Wands, we have the Eight of Swords, we have the Two of Cups, we have the Five of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the Nine of Cups. We have finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. We have release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. And we have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. I will say, like with your tarot, immediately as I started to lay out your cards, I was like, wow, this is like a story, you know, a clear like start of the narrative and then to the actual completion here with the Nine of Cups. So I feel like Spirit wants to kind of walk us through step by step, like how you're going to come into your next relationship, what your mindset is, what you need to release for that to happen, all that good stuff. So with this Two of Wands, to me, this is like where you're at currently, where you're kind of like looking. I mean, it's so cute how the cat is looking out to sea, right? Which that's what you typically see with the Two of Wands. But I like this because you know the expression like there's more fish in the sea. Like literally you're looking out there into the dating pool and being like, what else is out there? Because what I've dated before obviously hasn't worked. Or if you've been single for your whole life, whatever crushes that you've had, or maybe you haven't had a crush in a long time and you're like, what is really out there for me? And so you're kind of in this phase of like just considering possibilities, trying to figure out if you even want to start dating again, or like what that would look like or how you would go about doing that. But with this being next to the Eight of Swords, you're having a lot of anxiety about it. You're kind of getting lost in your thoughts to where you're not really taking any kind of action on it. You know, part of you is like, well, I'll meet someone when it's meant to be. And another part of you is like, yeah, but I'm not really trying, or I'm not really putting myself out there enough. Or how do I even go about doing that? So there's just like a lot of confusion. And I think in general, just a lot of self-doubt, you know, a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety about this. And I mean, dating can be rough, you know, so that's understandable, especially if you've had difficult experiences or if you've come out of a difficult relationship. It's like, do I really want to get involved in another entanglement? Because, you know, I think for a lot of you, you probably have other stuff going on. And with finances and career coming up in your reading and your oracle cards, maybe that is a part of your life where you're like, you know what, maybe I need to focus more on like my financial stability or my career, my professional life, or maybe you're in school right now. And so it's like, do I even want to get involved with somebody? Do I have enough time for that? How much time do I want to devote to that? So it's like 1 foot in the water, 1 foot out, you know, like there's a hesitancy there. It's like, you know, I may want to be in a happy, healthy connection with somebody, but or I might want to start dating again, but so there's like a part of you that's holding yourself back, a part of you that's like, do I even want to go there? And so I think that's why finances and career is coming up, just because that is, you know, pulling some of your attention away from your love life. And that's okay, you know, like you have other stuff going on, you know, like most people do. For some of you, that could hint at meeting someone through your workplace or through school, but we're going to get the Astro dice at the end, and we're going to use the houses to kind of figure out possibilities for how you can meet your next partner, and then we'll get Zodiac's placements for them. So we'll do that at the end. Okay, now looking into the rest of your tarot, with the Two of Cups, I mean, this is very positive. I think for you all, especially with your tarot ending with this Nine of Cups here, it's like, listen, you are gonna get that relationship that is like your wish come true. Like you are gonna get there, but part of that is going to involve you sort of defeating those mental, emotional kind of inner demons. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I mean, we all have self-limiting beliefs, right? Everyone, if we didn't have self-limiting beliefs, the entire field of cognitive behavioral psychology, like therapy, would not be in existence. Like, we all have self-limiting beliefs, okay? And part of this process of like you getting to that romantic partnership that's going to be a wish come true for you with the 9 of Cups and the 2 of Cups, especially, you know, them lining up like this, is going to involve you overcoming those self-limiting beliefs, those worry, those fears, those anxieties that you have that may tell you that the past is going to repeat itself, or you're unlovable, or wounds from childhood, issues with parents that affect your attachment style, things like that. So if you go through that process of overcoming that and just try, that's going to set you up for meeting the one, finding your success, finding kind of the diamond amongst, you know, all the fakes, I guess, so to speak, the right person for you. And part of that process for some of you is going to be releasing your ex. And that doesn't mean that you want your ex back. I'm not saying that's the case, but sometimes we hold on to this emotional baggage from our past partners, and if we bring all of that into our future partnerships, we end up a lot of times blaming our future partners, or we're easily triggered by certain things, like we're hyper vigilant to certain things, or we have like an exaggerated response to certain things that trigger us because of our ex's past actions, and that's not really fair to our current partner, right? I've seen that a lot in my friendships, and I think it's easy to spot that when other people are doing it, but it's harder to spot it when we're doing it. So maybe if you can notice that in like your personal life, like when your friends do that, or when family members do that, maybe it'll become easier for you to recognize when you're doing it. I don't know. That's just something that has helped me. That's just a personal advice kind of thing. But yeah, releasing your ex. And I think, again, it's less about releasing the person, because I don't think you want your ex back. I think it's more about releasing kind of the mess that they left you with, you know, like how they hurt you. You know, I think, how do I put it? It's like releasing that resentment, or releasing that that fear that they kind of left you with, that the past was going to repeat itself, or you are doomed to have partners that cheat on you or lie to you, you know, that kind of thing, whatever your ex did. Now with reconciliation, someone from your past is returning to your life, your ex might pop back up. You know, they might pop back up and try to get with you again, and maybe that will be part of this test of whether you take them back or not with this 5 of Swords. But I think also for some of you, this could be hinting that someone from, I think, like a past life could be popping up. So we'll see as we get like further into your cards here, but it could be hinting that maybe you're due for like a soulmate connection, someone that you share past lives with. And I think anytime we talk about a soulmate connection, we're talking about a relationship where we're both meant to grow, because obviously we have some kind of soul contract with that person. And you know, like, it doesn't mean that it's going to be like karmic and negative. You can grow together, and that's a really beautiful, positive thing when you can learn from the other person. And I think that's what we're meant to do in connections anyway. But yeah, this could be hinting at your future partner being a soulmate. And you may get like a sense of like deja vu, like, have I known you before? You know? And I think usually when we're talking about a soulmate connection, whether it's platonic or romantic, typically you develop an easy rapport with them right away. They're easy to talk to. You kind of develop, I mean, they just sort of feel like home because they feel so familiar to you and you don't know why. So that kind of energy. Okay. Now with the Ace of Swords here, I do feel like whoever this future partner is for you, I do feel like they will make the first move towards you. So, you know, if you're meeting them when you're out and about, they would be the first person to strike up a conversation. Or if you're meeting them online, they would be the first person to send you a message, that sort of thing. Yes. But I mean, whoever this future partner is, like I said, they will be a wish come true. They're not giving me a time frame for this. I think honestly, a lot of like when you're going to meet this next partner has a lot to do with you releasing your ex, you overcoming these fears, you deciding to take those steps to kind of prepare yourself for a romantic relationship. So leaving your house more, you know, putting yourself out there, making a dating profile if you're someone who likes online dating, or even just like little things like, you know, how they say like act as if, or like the law of assumption or that sort of thing. Like just sort of preparing yourself, like, you know, like if I was seeing someone, I would be like dressing up more, or I would be, I don't know, like keeping my home like more organized, you know, like I would have my ducks more in a row. I don't know, like things that people do like when they're in the relationship versus when they're single. You know, sometimes we like alter our behaviors a bit, so just take that however it resonates. But yeah, oh gosh, this is such a funny example. Okay. I know there are some women watching this who let their leg hair grow long if they're not in a relationship. They stop shaving. There's at least one of you watching that will resonate with that, so start shaving your legs. That's funny. Obviously not telling you you have to do that, but I definitely have friends who are like that, who are like, yeah, if I'm not in a relationship, I'm not shaving my legs. Unless I'm wearing a dress or something. Okay, all right. Enough being silly. So these cards here are your advice cards, and then we'll get into these cards. Okay. We have Spotlight. You're about to be in the spotlight, whether it's your man or woman, only having eyes for you, or your career finally taking off. Expect to get a lot of attention. Okay, so for some of you, it's not that your finances are a problem, it's that your career or your professional life is about to have a bit of a glow up. You know, you're about to get some more success. So maybe you get, you know, if you're in school, maybe you get offered an internship opportunity, or you have an opportunity to study abroad or something like that. And so like you're putting a lot of focus and attention into that rather than your love life, or you get promoted at work, or you start a new job, that sort of thing. Or maybe your side hustle takes off, or maybe you start a side hustle. So you could just be having a lot of growth in that area. And so, you know, like when you have good things going for you in one area of your life, that requires more of your attention, right? Because you want to keep up that momentum. And I also feel like this is encouraging you, because I did pull these cards with the intention of it being sort of advice for you. I feel like this is, again, encouraging you to put yourself out there more. You know, like I mean, I've been there myself. Like, I'm definitely a homebody. I like to be at home. I feel guilty if I'm outside of my house too much, because of my cat. Like, I have like mom guilt, for leaving her alone for too long. And so I end up staying home a lot, and it's like, well, how are you going to meet somebody if you're home all the time, unless you're doing online dating? So I feel like, you know, this is encouraging you to leave your house more, or if you do online dating, make that profile, check it, you know, actually complete the profile, that sort of thing. So yeah, just, or, you know, even beyond that, like maybe you should, consider like starting conversations with people, or trying to, and you don't have to, this doesn't have to mean like going to bars and that kind of thing. Like if that's not your thing, like you can definitely meet someone through like your hobbies and your interests. Like it doesn't have to mean taking yourself fully out of your comfort zone. So, you know, sign up for a class, sign up for something that you love, like a book club, or, you know, take up yoga. Instead of doing it at home, go do it at a gym, take a class. I'm just throwing out examples here, but, you know, or say like once a week, I'm gonna leave my home and I'm gonna go do something that I enjoy. I'm gonna go to an art museum, or I'm gonna go shopping at the mall. Like whatever you love to do, and it doesn't have to be expensive, but just kind of get yourself out of the house more. I remember I had a patient once in a counseling session, and I was telling them, you know, like, because they had been considering getting a pet, I was like, get a dog, because then you'll have to get out of your house to walk them, you know, and that could be good for you and for the dog, and then that would give you that companionship, but also get you out of the house more, so it's like a win-win. So something like that. Okay, We have what a mess. The situation has gotten messy, too many outside influences, but love isn't always clean and pretty. Love will rise again and become stronger. This is, to me, talking about that ex energy. You know, like, I think this is spirit acknowledging that, you know, if you do have an ex, yeah, you know, like it was a mess. Or even if it wasn't a full-on relationship and it was like a situationship kind of thing, or, you know, someone who wasn't really like wanting to commit to you, making false promises, leading you on, ghosting you, that kind of thing. You know, I feel like this is spirit acknowledging like sometimes you win and sometimes you don't, you know, and sometimes love works out and sometimes, you know, what feels like rejection is really protection. So, you know, and I think also this is advice for some of you that when this new partner does come in, just be mindful about what you share with friends and family and how much you share, because it can start to feel like too many cooks in the kitchen. And sometimes, you know, like our friends and our family may be well-intentioned, but if they keep bringing up our past, they can make it really hard to move forward. I was actually listening to some of the new songs that Taylor Swift put out, and I was like looking up to see like other people's reactions and stuff, and I was seeing a lot of like really negative comments about like her dating life and what's going on in her romantic life, which is nothing new for her. But I can just imagine like how hard it is for her to start dating again whenever she decides to start doing that, if she's not doing it already. But when everyone keeps bringing up your past, like how hard is that? So you may have certain friends and family members who are like, well, they kind of sound like your ex, or remember what happened with your ex, or remember what happened with so-and-so. Or if you've always been single, imagine like, well, I guess you can easily imagine this, like how difficult it would be for everyone to have an opinion and everyone to be talking about your love life because now you're dating. So yeah, just be mindful of, you know, how much you share and when you share, because I'm not sensing like ill intentions from friends and family members, but just like, you know, when everyone's talking about it, it puts more pressure on it. And then, you know, if you're prone to anxiety already with that Eight of Swords, it's not going to be helpful, okay? And then we have be vulnerable. I need to work on this myself. It says, allow them to see your true feelings. Being vulnerable is the only way to allow your heart to experience true pleasure. Dare to love openly. I see the Queen of Swords come out quite a bit in these readings, and so I know there must be a lot of you in my collective who identify with that Queen of Swords energy, or even the King of Swords. And you know, it's hard. It's hard to be emotionally vulnerable, especially if you've had trouble in the past with this X energy coming through. And you know, with the Eight of Swords as well, you know, those self-doubts that come up, and then you want to protect yourself and you don't want the past to repeat itself. And so instead of setting firm boundaries, you end up creating walls, and then, you know, you hold yourself back from even trying. And so, you know, I always say, like, as difficult as it is, like, love is a gamble. It's a risk, right? It's a leap of faith. That's why we associate it with the Fool card. So if you want true, open, honest love, you have to be open and honest. Like, you have to risk getting your heart broken. Otherwise, you're going to have superficial connections, right? With people who don't really know you. We have chemistry. There is mutual attraction between you and another person. Sexual attraction and passion are very strong. Both of you are attracted to each other like magnets. This could be like that soulmate connection we were picking up with that future partner, especially with it saying being attracted to each other like magnets. And that might be like why you're having such a strong, like, wish come true romantic partner coming in the future, is because Spirit understands that with your past, or if you've always been single, it's going to take a really incredible person to get you to be open and emotionally vulnerable enough to have like a true deep connection. And so that's why Spirit is like sending in, or the universe is sending in, a really strong match. So it's like inevitable. It's like I even if I wanted to run away and hide, I can't deny like how strong the chemistry is with this person. This different paths card, it says you and this person are no longer on the same page. What you want in life may differ from what they want. It's time to face it. If the road ahead is still with this person, or if it's better to move on to something new. That's the X, right? Like clear as day. You know, like you two are not on the same path. You never were. And if you're second guessing, you know, like, did I do the right thing in leaving that person, or should I take this person back, or, you know, whatever the case may be, or was it my fault that things didn't work out? You two were meant to be in your life for a season. They were not meant to stay. Okay. And like I said, it may not even be an ex. It may be like a situationship or a crush that you had and they didn't reciprocate feelings, you know. It may not be like a full-on ex, but just know that person wasn't meant for you anyway. Wow, you got reconciliation twice. Look at that. It says, this card stands for reconciliation and forgiveness. Someone may feel very sorry for their actions and want to apologize, or perhaps you are in this situation. It also may be important to forgive in order to move on. Forgiveness is your freedom here. Forgiveness is your freedom. Like I said, you know, those emotional cords, energetic cords that keep you tied to that person, it's holding you back, you know? And so it's true, you know, when they say forgiveness is about you, it's not about the other person. It's to give you your freedom in order to carve space to move on, so you don't have that weight of the past, you know, kind of bearing down upon you, because that's what this Eight of Swords looks like. You know, typically with the Eight of Swords, it's forming like a circle around them, but in this depiction, and I didn't use this deck for any other group, it's kind of bearing down on you. So it's like this heavy weight of the past on your shoulders, and it's time to release it. You know, it's time to cut those ties. And I think as well, forgive yourself, you know, for not knowing any better, or, you know, it's not your fault. Like if you loved and trusted someone and they burned you, or if you opened up your heart and that person didn't reciprocate, there's nothing wrong with your actions. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with opening up your heart or trying to put yourself out there. That's not something that you should feel bad about. You should be able to trust somebody, you know, you should be able to open up to somebody and trust that they're not going to throw it back in your face. So yeah, don't blame yourself for that. Don't blame yourself for being soft. You know, that doesn't make you weak. In fact, it's a real strength, you know, to be emotionally vulnerable. Okay, so let's end your reading now with how you're going to meet them and possible zodiac signs. Let's start with how you can meet them. Group 1, how could they meet this future romantic partner? We've got the 12th house. So yeah, they could really be like a soulmate connection. I was thinking before I started this reading that Pisces might come out. You guys can believe that or not, but the 12th house is associated with Pisces. So this to me is like murky, unclear, because Pisces is also associated with the moon card. So it's like we don't really want to tell you. Like we want to kind of hold that back from you. But if the 12th house is coming out, it's going to be like this weird chance, serendipitous, divine timing, fated kind of meeting. And I know that's like nobody's favorite. You know, you want me to tell you you're going to meet them at the car wash, or you're going to meet them at school, or you're going to, you know, something definite. But with the 12th house, it's the exact opposite. And you know, Pisces is depicted with two fish swimming in the opposite directions. So I think honestly, there's a lot of opportunities for you to meet this person, or when you're talking with them, you're going to be like, wow, like there were so many points and times where our paths just nearly crossed but didn't. And that might frustrate you a little bit in the future. But yeah, it's one of those things where even if you guys almost meet each other but don't, that doesn't mean you missed your opportunity. You just missed your chance. And so it's like, even if you miss that chance, Spirit's going to create another opportunity for you two to meet each other, because this does feel like very fated, like it was meant to be, like you are meant to know this person. You are meant to become romantically involved with this person. You guys have a soul contract, and that is what it is. And that's all I can say. I was going to get more houses, but with the 12th house coming up and me sensing Pisces energy was going to come out, I'm going to leave it. Okay? We will get zodiac signs now. We'll get 3. Unless we get a repeating one, and then we'll still just get 3. Okay. So we've got Taurus coming out. I love Taurus energy. So this is an earth sign. This is fixed earth. So this is going to be someone who is really dependable, really reliable, someone who is definitely true to their word. I always think of Taurus people as being people who do what they're going to say they're going to do. So they're definitely someone who shows who they are through their actions. You know, they don't just kind of talk out of both sides of their mouth, you know, like they're the type of person that's very true to their word, and they expect other people to be true to their word, you know. It's like what you see is what you get with Taurus people. And I think also with Taurus, I always associate that with someone who like works hard to play hard. So someone who really balances out like a strong work ethic with enjoying the finer things in life and all the pleasures that life has to offer. You know, they're the most connected to the material world out of all the earth signs. So for sure, this is going to be someone who enjoys a nice meal, enjoys a nice night out, enjoys nature, is probably outdoorsy, you know, that sort of thing. Probably someone who is very physically attractive with Taurus energy. You associate that with Venus, so someone who's going to be really physically attractive to you. Someone who's going to be probably your type, or someone, you know how there are some people who are so attractive, it's like even if they're not your exact type, they're kind of everybody's type, you know, just because they're that good looking. I don't say that a lot in readings. I try not to focus too much on the physical, but that message is coming through pretty strongly. Okay, let's get more possible signs for this person. Taurus again, shut the front door. And I even said that we may get a repeating sign, and then we do. Okay, so Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. This person also may be a good cook. That's coming through as well. They may not be good at cooking everything. They may have just like a couple special dishes, or they may be someone who's really good at baking but not cooking, or they may be a good cook but not a good baker. But there's something in the kitchen that they're good at doing, okay? Okay, let's get one more sign since we got a repeating sign. All right, so now we have Scorpio. So water sign energy coming through, but still a fixed sign. So this person might be a bit stubborn. I say that as a Leo that's fixed fire. This person might be a bit stubborn. And you know, there's a benefit to that. If someone is stubborn, they're probably set in their ways, which means that they are to a certain degree predictable, which can be nice in a romantic situation, especially if you're wanting a long-term committed relationship, because if someone is unpredictable, that can make you nervous, especially if you've had trouble in the past with an ex, or you've had a difficult kind of romantic history, or if you've always been single. You don't really want someone who's really flighty and changes their mind all the time. Like, I felt that way a lot with my past partner because they were a Gemini, and I love Gemini energy, but they had a lot of Gemini placements and they didn't have anything to really ground it out. And so they would be so uncertain about everything. And it's like, if someone is uncertain about everything, how can they be certain about me? And that's how I felt. And I'm saying this to say you're not going to have to worry about that. Like, yes, this person might be a person of routine and habit, but they're going to be reliable. They're not going to be flaky. You know, it's going to be easy to predict how this person is going to act. And so I feel like that's going to give you a lot of comfort and safety in this connection, because it's going to make you feel more secure. You know, like if they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. You know, they're not going to do something crazy and unpredictable, and they're not gonna flake out on you. They're not gonna be flighty or wishy-washy. Like, you know, this person is, again, like you see like what you see is what you get with them. And that doesn't mean they don't have the emotional depth as well, because with Scorpio coming through, you'll still have that passion, you'll still have that emotional intensity and depth, but a Taurus energy is going to ground it out, right? And I think also with Scorpio coming through, this is hinting at the idea that this is going to be a really emotionally healing relationship for you, and probably for them too, because if we're talking about a soulmate connection, there's probably going to be some mirroring going on. You're gonna find that they have been through similar experiences as you, or you really relate to their story, they relate to yours. There's going to be certain themes that overlap between what you've experienced and what they've experienced, and that's going to make you feel really, I think, emotionally validated, seen, heard, and understood. Okay, so group 1, this was your reading. I really enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Hopefully this filming setup was a bit better. I'm gonna get a different blanket. I don't like I want a solid color, I think. I do like filming on a blanket because it's a bit softer. And hopefully the audio was better. We'll see. It's definitely still a work in progress, but I thank you all for your patience, and yeah, I'm wishing you the very best, and I will see you in my next one. Welcome to your reading. So we have the 4 of Cups, we have the Hermit, we have the 7 of Swords, we have the Page of Swords, we have the King of Wands, as well as the King of Pentacles. We have the Sun, we have new love, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. We have flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. And we have heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Okay. So a lot going on already. I will say, when I was pulling your tarot here, I asked, after we got these cards up here, I asked what sort of person is going to come in for group 2, this future romantic partner. Who are they? And the King of Wands immediately came out, and then the King of Pentacles came out. And so I just want to address this because I could read this in 2 different ways. So the first way is that you're having 2 love offers come in, or for some of you, this King of Wands may be in your life already, but then that King of Pentacles comes in and offers you, asks you out on a date, right? Or something like that. Especially if you're doing online dating. I could see this being a possibility where you're talking to multiple people. For others of you, this could represent one individual, but it's like you see that King of Wands side to them first, but then in other contexts, as you get to know them better, you see that King of Pentacles side come out. So the King of Wands could represent like their ascendant, their rising sign. So maybe they have a Leo rising or Aries or Sagittarius, and so when you first meet them, they're really funny, really charming, charismatic, chatty, someone who is really lighthearted, playful, fun, adventurous, exciting, passionate. Again, someone who's really easy to talk to. I love King of Wands energy. They could be someone who's like well-traveled, someone who has, how certain people, like they just have a lot of good stories to tell, or they've lived like a colorful life, they've had a lot of different experiences, or they know a lot of different people, or especially King of Wands, I tend to think of them as like really tuned into like pop culture, and so like they have good taste in music, or they're up to date on like the latest shows, or they know a little bit about everything. So maybe they know a lot about movies, or a lot about maybe a certain time period of music, that kind of thing. But then as you get to know them, maybe their sun sign is in, or their moon sign is in an earth sign energy, and that's where that King of Pentacles comes out. Or maybe you see them in a different setting, so you see them in their workplace, or you see them with their family, and then that Pentacle side comes through with that earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and you see how studious they can be, you see how disciplined they can be, you see how grounded they can be, you see a more serious side to them with that King of Pentacles, and you're like, oh, okay, like this person isn't just someone you can have a fun time with, this is someone who you could actually get serious with, you see? So, just take what resonates. This could be two different people for some of you. For others of you, it could be the same person, but just revealing a different side to them as you get to know them better, okay? We will get some Zodiac messages, though, at the end of your reading with the Astrodice, as well as how you could meet this person with the house, okay? All right. So getting into the rest of your cards here. With new love and the Four of Cups coming out, especially in this deck in particular, because I didn't use this tarot deck for any other group, with the swans mate for life. So this could be a long-term romantic partnership coming in, but with it being the Four of Cups, like you don't expect it. And I think for a lot of you, especially if you were resonating with this being one person but two different sides to them, like at first you think it's just going to be a fun fling, or this person isn't going to be serious about you, you think, oh, I could have a good time with this person, but they don't seem like the type to commit, but then you find out, oh no, that's exactly what they're looking for. So with the Four of Cups, like it carries this energy of this person coming into your life when you least expect it, or you never thought of this person in a romantic context, or you never thought this person would want to commit, or that this person would be the type to settle down, but actually with that King of Pentacles side to them, that's exactly what they want. For others of you, if you are resonating with this being two different people, it could be that like you're so focused on one person that you don't see that the other person is a better match for you. So again, like just take that as it resonates. But with the Four of Cups, definitely like this is an opportunity, regardless of which message you are resonating with most, that you're not expecting, and that's going to be really, really beautiful for you. With the Hermit and the Seven of Swords and that Page of Swords, I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of you have some of you have just become really apathetic, or you're at a point to where you're like, you know what, I just don't even want to try. I just want to focus on myself, love myself, stay in my own energy, and when the right person comes along, or the right, the timing is right, I'll leave that up to the divine. I'll leave that up to spirit. I'll leave it up to God, the universe. Like, I'm just kind of fed up, and I'm just gonna wait for divine guidance to kind of lead me to my next person, and I'm not going to try to force anything, because I think a lot of you have been burned in the past, or you've been disappointed in the past, or maybe you've been single your whole life and you know you're kind of just like whatever about it. Because with the Hermit card here, this is someone who has a, you know, like you still have faith. You know, you still have that connection to spirit. You still have belief that everything happens for a reason, or that things are going to work out as they're meant to work out, and what's not for you, it, you know, is meant to leave, and that's okay. Like, you're not in this energy of like trying to force it, which I think is good. But there's still that aspect of you that's been hurt, you know, and that's had to go through a healing process, that's had to spend some time alone. And some of you may tend to be introverts just because of that past hurt, that past betrayal, that past disappointment in people. And so with the sun coming out, it's like, you know, like you're completely and 100% due for a win in love. You know, like you deserve this blessing. And you got very positive cards for your oracle here, with heart-to-heart conversations, flirt, and new love. Like, you know, this is gonna be like full-on like honeymoon phase excitement. They're showing me like images of how it is in the movies, you know. It's gonna feel, I think, really liberating for you. It's gonna feel like a true fresh start, a true new chapter in your love life. It's gonna feel like, I deserve this, you know, like I understand like why all that other stuff had to happen to prepare me for this kind of love. Like, it feels just so beautiful, because with heart-to-heart conversations, like you're getting that emotional depth, right? But then on the other side of it, with flirt, like you're still getting the playfulness and the fun. So you're getting, you know, the best of both worlds with that. And this will be a new person. Like, there's an absolutely, or even two people possibly, and you have to make a choice here. What was I saying? Oh, this isn't going to be an ex. Like, I'm not seeing any sort of indication that this is someone from your past returning. Like, it 110% feels like a completely new person. Okay. So these cards here are going to be advice for you in love. We have true love. True love is like a tattoo. It will leave an imprint on your heart that will last forever. True love never dies. Every time I see this card, the way she's holding herself, it always makes me think of self-love. And so I feel like this is saying to you here, like all of that work we were talking about, you know, that healing journey, that self-love journey that you have been on has been preparation for this partnership that's coming in. And that was the purpose. That was the point to it. Okay. And even if you've been single for a long time, like you were given that time to develop your self-love. And so like you're giving that to yourself. And so you're not outsourcing that job to someone else. You're not asking someone else to help you feel worthy or help you feel deserving. You know you're already worthy and deserving of your love, and you're not giving too much of yourself to this. You're meeting them halfway and they're meeting you halfway, but you're not giving all of yourself to this next romantic partnership and leaving yourself with nothing. You're still holding on to enough love for yourself. And this is also going to be someone who accepts you completely and not someone who makes you feel like you have to change or alter yourself to deserve their love. Like their love's not coming with these unfair conditions or standards that make you have to be sort of untrue to yourself. Okay, now we have gift. You may be surprised by someone's act of kindness. Be open to small gestures or any proposals that come your way. Embrace the gift. Oh my goodness, this is that Four of Cups. This is the gift of love from the universe that you're not expecting. And it may be that the way that you two meet, or the way you meet one of these people, if you think it's one person or two people, I'm just going to act like it's one person. If you think it's two love offers, that's fine, but just for the sake of brevity here and being concise, I'm just going to act like it's one person. But you may meet this person through them offering you like an act of kindness. So it may be as simple as like you meet this person because they let you go ahead of them in the grocery line at the store, or they hold open a door for you, or you know, they offer to help you with your bags if you're walking somewhere in the parking lot. Like it could just be something so small. And that's how you end up meeting them. You know, you just kind of strike up that conversation. And so, you know, if you tend to be an independent person, which with the Hermit you probably are, just be open to people helping you out. It's actually reminding me of that episode of Friends with, was it, I forget if it was Charlie or who it was. Maybe, no. I don't know. Okay. On Friends, there was this woman who was moving into her apartment building, and Ross and Joey both offer to help her move in, and they start to fight over her. And so she meets both of them, 2 love offers, right? Because they both want to ask her out on a date, by them offering to help her move those boxes into her apartment. So it could be something like that. Okay. We have your mirror. Whatever you believe to be true, your lover will mirror back. Get to know what's really going on inside of you and confront your fears. Yeah. That's what we were talking about with that self-love, you know. And that's not placing any blame on you. If you experienced encounters in the past with people who made you feel unlovable, don't take this as like, oh, it was all my fault. No. Just take this as advice for the future to love yourself and to not compromise your self-love for any type of connection, whether it's platonic or romantic. And, you know, when you raise your standards and you believe that you deserve more, I think you get more across the board, not just romantically, but just in life in general, you know? Like if we accept the bare minimum, we're gonna keep settling for the bare minimum, you know, like that's how it works. If you never ask for a raise, you probably won't get it. You know, it's that kind of thing. Okay. We have unrequited love. The feelings in this connection are not mutual. One person gives more love than the other. Don't waste your energy on someone who is not interested in you. Okay, so for some of you, this could be indicating here that this is 2 people, and one of them is worth it and the other one isn't. For others of you, this is echoing what we literally just talked about, where we were talking about if you settle for less, you'll keep getting less, and to raise your standards now and to commit to your self-love now, because that will influence when that new love comes in, whether you think you're even deserving of it, or whether you think that it will last, or whether that person is capable of loving you back, because sometimes we can self-sabotage, right? So just be mindful of that as well. We have take it slow. Don't rush into this connection and situation. Take your time to get to know each other. Let this connection unfold how it's meant to. Don't push anything. I feel like that's not going to be a huge problem for you. I feel like honestly, it's probably going to be an easier time for you if you do take it slow. I feel like that's going to be more within your comfort zone. That's going to make you feel more secure, especially if you're coming through with that Hermit energy. You know, it's going to be a pretty big shift. And I think, you know, you're gonna feel a lot more comfortable when you do build that solid foundation with them. And I think just keep communication open. If something's moving too quickly for you, whether it's emotionally or physically, just communicate that, you know, 100%. Both of these kings here, the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles, both of these people, whether it's one individual or 2, both of them would be appreciative of open, honest communication. Like you can be blunt with either one of these people and they would respect it. Okay. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this deck. Like a slow burn romance is sometimes the way to go. Okay. And we have manifest your soulmate. Light a pink candle while you visualize your soulmate. Prayers and wishes are very important for you now. This card also indicates that your manifestation will come into your reality soon. Some of you may have been trying to manifest new love into your life, and this is confirmation for you. that you are manifesting a soulmate level connection, which is really cool. For others of you, light a pink candle, and maybe that will help you feel more comforted that yes, this is going to come to pass for you. But honestly, I feel like this is saying like right here, right now, you're on the right track and you're exactly where you're meant to be. And this is going to come in at the right time, you know? And so like, just get ready for it. Just keep preparing yourself by loving yourself, accepting yourself, and keep doing what you're doing. And I think again, like for a lot of you, it's going to come in when you're not expecting it, you know, with that 4 of Cups, when you're not expecting it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some more information here. So we've already gotten quite a few zodiac signs, but let's just see if we can get any more. Maybe instead of their sun sign, let's ask about their moon sign. Let's do that. Okay, Aries moon. Remember how I said like both of these figures would appreciate like direct, blunt communication? That would be an Aries moon. Like you can totally just tell them exactly what you're feeling and they would respect you for it, and they would be grateful that you're just saying how you feel, and they're not trying to do any sort of guesswork with this. If someone has an Aries moon too, like this is someone who is pretty upfront about what their wants and needs are emotionally. And this is someone who, you know, like puts themselves first. And, you know, sometimes it can come across as selfish, but I think ultimately we have to do what's best for us, right? And I think that people who sacrifice their own needs so much end up becoming like, they put themselves in this category of a victim, right? Like they can become passive aggressive, they can become resentful over time, they can be people pleasers, they can kind of martyr themselves, and that can be really unhealthy. And so you're not going to have to worry about that with this person. This is going to be someone who says very clearly, like, this is what I need, and you know, like hopefully we can meet somewhere in the middle if my needs conflict with yours, but this is what I need. And I think that's really healthy. I think that can be really good. Also too, like this person's going to be like really adventurous and exciting. And I think, you know, for some of you, especially if you're more like a homebody, they can help you get out of your comfort zone more. And I think that can be really positive. Okay. Let's get another moon sign possibility here. We've got Leo, some more fire sign energy. Okay. So a Leo moon still gonna be someone who knows what they need and isn't afraid to express that need. I do think this is someone who enjoys the spotlight, enjoys attention. Like this is someone who really thrives on making other people laugh. This is someone who thrives on kind of creating an atmosphere of like optimism and just like good vibes. As cheesy as that sounds, like an Aries moon or a Leo moon wants to keep things fun and exciting and just kind of like a happy-go-lucky kind of energy. So like this is someone who, if someone's crying, like they'll crack a joke to try to lighten the tension, lighten the mood. Or if someone, I've been there myself, and you know what, it reminds me of Chandler on Friends, and I'm sorry if I reference that character a lot or that show a lot, but it reminds me of Chandler on Friends. Like they'll be in like a really heated argument, and then Chandler will just say something after all the yelling, and it just makes everyone laugh, you know, in the audience. Like they just know how to cut through like really emotionally charged, tense conversations and just say something that breaks all of that tension, you know? And so I think their sense of humor is definitely their strength, and definitely something that I think you're going to come to appreciate as well, because they can always make you laugh. And they can always make you smile even when you're angry or upset. Like they just have a way of like cutting through that tension. And also too, like Leo energy is very generous. So if you were worried with that Aries moon that they were going to be too self-serving, with Leo energy coming through, Leo is very generous. And so this is going to be someone who probably is really into like gift giving, or even someone who maybe into like acts of service, but I'm picking up more like gift giving. And Leo people, I think fire sign energy in general, but especially Leo energy, like we like to hype other people up, you know, like we feel confident, so we want other people to feel good about themselves too. You know, we don't want anyone sitting there feeling really down about themselves or engaging in a lot of negative self-talk, because even an insecure Leo is going to fake it till they make it. And so like we want to have other people feel good, you know, and when people feel good about themselves, they're a lot nicer and kinder anyway, and the world is a better place. So everyone should feel good about themselves, you know, in a healthy way, not in an arrogant way. Okay. Let's see. I was gonna laugh if we got another fire sign. We didn't. Okay. So now we have Pisces coming through. The Pisces energy being here, this could be emotionally someone who can kind of lean into their intuition, someone who can be almost like psychic but not realize it. And especially if we're taking it in the context of like all of this fire sign energy, and now we have Pisces coming through, it's like this is someone who goes with their gut. You know, they wouldn't call it probably like their intuition, or they go with their heart, but they just go with what feels right to them on like an instinctual kind of level. And so they're not going to overthink things, and they may not necessarily be able to put into words why they have made certain choices, but they just know this feels right, kind of like in my bones. Like this just feels what is right for me. This is what is right for the situation. This is like what morally feels like the right choice, even if I can't like logically explain it. Like this is just what feels right. And so, you know, sometimes if they're trying to put things into words that may be hard for them, especially with Pisces energy, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. Like it's pretty, you know, dreamy, ethereal kind of energy. But yeah, they may have trouble verbally expressing it or explaining it. Like it may get lost in translation, but they definitely have this authenticity to them where it just feels right. And so like when they've made up their mind about something, that's just kind of how it is, and it's because it comes from a feeling and not from logic. And so you can't really talk them out of things or talk them into things. If it doesn't feel right, they're not going to go with it. And so they're really true to their heart, which is, you know, a good thing. They're not easily swayed by the crowd, you know, they're not easily influenced because they have that pretty strong tie to their intuition. I just think that for them, they wouldn't call it that. I'm just picking up for them, it's more of like an instinct or like a gut level kind of reaction for them. Okay. Let's see now how you can meet them. Maybe we'll get a more clear answer for you because group 1 didn't have a clear answer. Okay, 3rd house. So you could meet them online. It could be also indicating that they strike up a conversation with you with the 3rd house. You could also meet them through close friends, or they could be someone who is tied to a certain community that you belong to, because Gemini energy, the 3rd house, talks about our local community. So if you're involved in an online community, maybe you meet them through that. It could also indicate like maybe this person goes to the same gym as you and you guys both have a membership there, so you're a part of that community. Or, you know, this person lives close to you and so you both shop at the same grocery store. So this can, you know, obviously apply in several different ways, right? Or maybe you have like a niche sort of hobby. I do associate Gemini with like different hobbies because Gemini is very curious, right? It explores a lot. So this could be that you have, I don't know, like maybe you're a surfer and so you end up meeting this person as you're surfing because they're doing the same activity as you and you meet them on the beach. Just throwing out examples, obviously that's extremely specific, but you get what I'm saying. You could meet them through a hobby that you have, okay? Or like a shared mutual interest. Okay. We have the 10th house, so you could meet them through work. You could also meet them in a place of high status, so you can meet them at a place that's something that costs money. So like you can meet them at a nice restaurant or at a nice event, or you know, somewhere that's kind of fancy, like a really nice museum, or if you're touring, like a beautiful temple kind of thing, like a place of beauty, a place of wealth, a place of status. You could meet them on vacation if you are going on a really nice kind of luxury location. I said location, I meant to say vacation. Or like a nice cruise, that kind of thing, something you spent money on, or like if you're going to a concert and the tickets were expensive, that sort of thing. Okay, now we have the 9th house, so really while traveling as well. Traveling, or if you're going to college or university, because the 9th house can talk about higher learning as well. And this is Sagittarius energy. You could meet them at school as well. All right, so group, what are you? Group 2. Thank you for watching this reading. Thank you for letting me do this reading for you. And I hope you all have a great day. I'm wishing you the very best, and please take care. Welcome to your reading. So we have the 6 of Cups, we have the Knight of Cups, we have the Page of Wands, we have the Knight of Swords, we have the 7 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. We have past life relationship, you have known each other before. We have make the effort, great love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. We have stay optimistic about your love life, positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And we have passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Okay, as soon as I saw that 7 of Cups, the first thing that came to mind was like, girl, you have options. And it comes from this song, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a song from like this old reality TV show that I used to watch that was about like women in hip hop or something. This was like years ago, but I heard that song in my head. And you know, I mean, you could be a man watching this, your gender doesn't matter here, but especially with it being next to the 3 of Cups, because that song was really about like friendship as well, and like just hanging out with your friends and like having a good time. And so I feel like there's really sort of this energy of like, enjoy your life now. Like, really just go out, have fun with your friends, or if you feel like you don't really have any friends right now, focus on that, quite frankly, because that is part of like what is going to lead you to this next romantic connection here. But like, just remember that you have options, and your perspective makes all the difference in the world. Your attitude makes all the difference in the world. And I don't want this to come across as something that's invalidating to you, as I know like it can get hard when you've been single for a long time, if that's the case, or if you've had a lot of difficult experiences in your romantic partnerships in the past. But I think that if you can stay optimistic, like this card says, and have this attitude instead of like feeling like really negative about love in general, or about dating in general, or about your options, instead look at it from a perspective of like, instead of being negative about being single, look at it like the world is like your oyster here. Like, there are so many different possibilities and potential here for you to find the best possible connection for you. I mean, how many people are there in the world, right? Like, there's someone out there for you, okay? Like, there's someone out there who is wanting someone who is exactly like you, and there's someone out there who is prepared to give you the love that you deserve. Like, yeah, you have to believe in that, and there must be some part of you that does, otherwise you wouldn't click on this reading and you would be done with love entirely, right? So your perspective really matters here. Staying optimistic about this really does matter, because you can be miserable while you're waiting, or you can be hopeful while you're waiting, right? So I think that's going to make all the difference here. And it's going to prevent you from becoming really bitter as well. Because that's hard too. Because I don't know, in my personal life, like, I know people who tend to make sweeping generalizations, and that's not helpful in any sort of context. But if you find yourself saying like all women are trash, or all men are liars or cheaters, that's going to be reflected in your reality, because you're putting that energy out there. So, you know, like, as best as you can, stay optimistic about the possibilities that are out there, and, you know, like, pray for protection, pray for the best outcome, you know, just keep your faith about things. And I think that's gonna definitely influence, not like when this person comes in, this next romantic partner, but it's going to influence how you feel until they get there, you know, like, again, like, you can be miserable in this transition period, or you can be hopeful, okay? So definitely don't want you just miserable, right? Like, go out, have fun, enjoy like your friendships, or try to make new friends if that's the case, but just be open to possibilities. Okay, so I had to pause the reading because I had a package delivered to my door that I had to sign for, and I don't remember exactly what I was saying. However, I'm noticing that we have the Six of Cups here, and when my package was delivered, it had this red and white string tied around it. Very cute order from Etsy. The packaging was so cute. But anyway, red string of fate. That's what Six of Cups tends to be, the soulmate card. And when we talk about soulmates, we talk about the red string of fate. And I especially like how this is intertwined with this white thread here as well, because it makes me think of purity. And Six of Cups talks about a very sweet, kind of cozy, affectionate, a relationship that makes you feel very safe. And I tend to associate it as well with soul family. And it's a connection that makes you kind of return to childhood, and it is very healing, especially if you had a difficult childhood or certain wounds from childhood that still affect you. And so I just feel like that was meant to happen during your reading. And so this is indicating here that, like, there is, again, like, someone out there for you. You're tied to this person. This is the string of fate. So, like, this can't be severed. It can't be broken. Like, you are meant to be with this person. And past life relationship, like, this is the soulmate card too. Like you share past lives with this person. And even here, like it's still showing like the children, like the sweetness, right? Like it's a really pure love. And great love as we're taking the steps you're guided to take. It's divinely guided, you know? And it's going to feel really unlike any other love that you've known before, right? Like what else could compete with this? So anyway, I just thought I would share that with you all. But I think also with you having like so many court cards here, I think for some of you, there are a lot of options that are going to be presented to you. Like there are a lot of different people that are coming forward. Like you might just be in a space where you're really romantically like attractive at a certain period, or you have a lot of offers, or it could be a situation where like you know there are different ways that you could meet somebody, and it's whether you want to put yourself out there in that manner or not, or whether you want to pursue certain connections or not. But one of these cups is right for you. And I think with it talking about divine guidance here, it's really saying like your intuition is going to lead you to which cup is the right cup for you. But even when we talk about a sort of like fated connection like this, like you're fated to meet them, right? But whether or not you want to use your free will to pursue a connection with them, I think is still obviously ultimately up to you. So I think in your love life, what's going to benefit you the most is staying optimistic, enjoying yourself in the meantime, living your best life, and third, really using your intuition here and trusting your intuition, because I think for some of you that's like a fractured relationship. Like your sense of connection to your intuition is a bit fractured because maybe because of your past, and it may be because you just struggle with that. You know, maybe you're someone who sees a lot of signs and you get confused and turned around, or you just doubt yourself a lot. And so I think repairing that connection to your intuition is really going to help you, because otherwise you could think yourself and second guess yourself kind of in a hole about which person is right for you, because it does feel like you have different offers coming through or different people trying to get your attention. I will say that. Some of you may not be expecting that. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? But I think if you especially start to spend more time with your friends, or you start to make new friends, those different love offers could start to come in. Okay, we've already kind of gotten into advice, and you actually got more advice cards than the other groups, but we'll just go ahead and get into it. We got cold peace. What exactly do you love about him or her? If they're treating you in a way that feels disrespectful, ask yourself what part of you allows this behavior to continue. I mean, definitely have standards, definitely maintain your boundaries, and know your worth. Know what you deserve in love, and you don't have to settle. You don't have to settle. We got happy times. You're entering a happier cycle. You did the work and overcame so much. Now it's your turn to receive in a major way. It's time. You've had enough lessons. This is like the best card in the deck. Like, very excited to see this come out for you. Really no advice here. This is just giving you that reassurance that you need. We have golden opportunities. Keep an open mind to opportunities. They are closer than you think. One opportunity used wisely can change your life dramatically. That reminds me of that Seven of Cups again. Like, I feel like that's a really significant card in your reading here. And so be mindful of just saying yes more and not being super closed off, because one opportunity could end up leading you to this soulmate connection. And that's not to say you're going to miss your chance if you say no to something you should have said yes to, but it could just prolong you meeting this person and connecting with, whoever this soulmate is. We have motherhood here. Don't freak out about this card. It says, take the time to mother your babies, creative projects or entrepreneurial, I may have said that wrong, ventures. But more than anything, don't forget to mother yourself. I feel like mothering yourself is really the message here, because I do feel like for some of you there are some wounds from childhood. You may need to reparent yourself in some aspects. You may have had a difficult relationship with your mother, or your mother may, you know, just had her own issues going on, like maybe she was chronically sick when you were younger or something like that, or maybe she passed away. So whatever the case may be, if there's any sort of mother wound or some healing that needs to happen around that, or even just feeling more connected to your divine feminine energy, and being more receptive and open, that could also, you know, be something that benefits you regardless of your gender. And I think also focusing on your creativity and, again, just living your best life. And so whether that is putting your heart into, you know, a creative project, or whether that is experimenting with your style and expressing your creativity that way, or if it's being, I know for me it was super healing just to take care of Gracie, my cat, and to be her mom. It's been like the most healing thing for me. Sorry, I like scratched the card on my shirt here, but yeah, so some, you know, if it's like mothering your fur baby, that could be a thing as well. Or if you do have children, focus on that. That could definitely, you know, there's different ways that we can express love in our life, right? Okay. And then we have lighten up. It says, lighten up and enjoy the journey. Take time to play more, because even the smallest things can initiate change within you to live life with love and joy. That's that 3 of Cups. Like, you're definitely being called to have more fun, to let your hair down, you know, kick up your heels here, just have more fun. And I think also for some of you, like, you are being encouraged to experiment with your style more. I don't know why that message is coming through, but just have more fun. You know, if you're someone who has a lot of rules for yourself, like I can't wear this, I can't wear that, because of maybe like some, you know, like body issues, with your body image issues, you know, just let yourself have more fun. Don't be so restrictive towards yourself. I think that could help with your self-confidence. We have message. You are going to receive a message from someone special. This card also says that clear communication is needed. Check your message folders. So this could indicate whoever this soulmate is, they could be the one who reaches out to you first. So maybe on an online dating profile or social media, or if you meet them, they would ask for your phone number. This could also indicate that Spirit is trying to send you messages about your love life through signs and synchronicities. I'm hearing for some of you through songs and music. So just pay attention, okay? We have Storm. Conflict is affecting your current situation or relationship. Look for a diplomatic way to solve the issue. This card also stands for unexpected and sudden changes. For you all, it's definitely that second piece. Unexpected and sudden changes. I feel like this soulmate's going to come in like lightning. It reminds me of that Rihanna and Calvin Harris song. It feels like Cupid's arrow, like, you know, it may be a situation where it feels like love at first sight, but it's definitely soul recognition, because you out of all the groups today, like, there's a real strong message here, the soulmate connection coming in. I feel like we've gotten that so many times for you all. But yeah, and especially too with that golden opportunities card, I think it's going to surprise you as well, how much this future romantic partner ends up influencing and changing your life. And then we have boundary. You need to set better boundaries. Keep your energy balanced and protected. If needed, spend some time alone. It's okay to say no. I think that for some of you, this may indicate some of you may struggle, especially if you've never had like multiple love offers, or you've never had like multiple people like trying to get your attention. Some of you may struggle with like just saying no, or expressing that you're not interested because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I feel like you're encouraged, like, just say how you feel, because, you know, even if people aren't happy with you in the moment, you did them a kindness by not wasting their time. and by being upfront. And I think also this is indicating here, like even when you're with your future romantic partner, don't feel bad about just saying how you feel and what you need and setting those boundaries, because they're going to respect those boundaries. But if you don't clearly communicate what your boundaries are, like they're not a mind reader, right? Like you have to say what you need, otherwise it's going to be an uphill battle, okay? But yeah, don't feel guilty about asserting your boundaries. Okay, let's see how you could potentially meet this person. Group 3. We've got the 5th house. We talked a lot about creativity. So if you have any kind of side hustle, or maybe it's your main gig, but anything you do that's creative could lead you to meeting this person. So like let's say that you have an online business, and or you have like some sort of like project or product that you create, and this person ends up reaching out to you about that. That could be how you meet them. This could also indicate like just something about your style, because we were picking up a lot about your style. So it could be that, you know, when you start to express yourself more freely, you get more attention, and it's attention that you're not used to getting. And this person notices you and they're like, hey, I like your dress. I like the way, I like your hair. I like, you know, the way, something about your style, right? Like they compliment you, and that starts up a conversation. Let's see. We've got the 3rd house here. You could meet them online, especially if you have like some kind of like creative business or something that you run online, something that involves creativity or creating some kind of content or product. Like I said, you could meet them through that. You can meet them through like a dating profile, social media. You could also meet them through your close friend, because we did get the 3rd. We have the 3rd house, and then we also have the 3 of Cups. So you could meet them through a close friend, a mutual acquaintance. Now we have the 7th house. So yes, definitely like someone close to you could end up introducing you to this person. It could be like a friend of a friend kind of ish, you know, kind of thing. With the 7th house here too, I'm also thinking you can meet them in a place that's beautiful, or a place where you have dressed up for the occasion. I don't know why your style is like coming through so strongly, but the 7th house, I do think of aesthetic. So it could be, again, like something about the way you're dressed. So it could be for a special occasion. So you go out to some sort of event that you have to dress up for, that you have to look nice for. And this person compliments you on what you're wearing or how you've styled yourself. And that, again, like strikes up that initial conversation. Because remember, I said that they were going to speak to you first. Okay. So let's now get into possible zodiac signs for this person. So we have Leo energy here. This also relates to the 5th house, so definitely Leo energy is indicated really strongly. I'm a Leo, so I'm biased, like obviously. We're the best sign, right? But Leo energy is very generous, very sociable. It makes sense that this person would speak to you first, because we tend to be pretty chatty. You know, Leos tend to be pretty good at like small talk, or just making people feel at ease, because with Leo energy, with that generosity, like we do tend to give out compliments. We do tend to initiate conversations in that manner of like, hey, like I like your earrings, I like your dress, I like your hair. Leos always notice hair. So it could be your hair that this person is complimenting, but Leo energy, yeah, like definitely someone who's optimistic, someone who tends to look at the brighter side of things, someone who tends to be pretty resilient. Leos are hardworking, but we also, you know, think of a lion like moving in like short bursts of energy, right? So it's like cats spend a lot of time sleeping as well. So it's like a balance there, kind of like Taurus energy is a balance between hard work and play. Leo energy is like a balance between like hard work, but then also relaxing and treating yourself and self-care and all that good stuff. So definitely someone who's pretty balanced. Not someone who's going to be a workaholic, but also not someone who's going to be lazy. So that's always good. Yeah, and I think someone also who knows how to have a good time, and someone who will encourage you to treat yourself, to enjoy yourself, and to make time for yourself, for sure. And also with Leo, I think of a pride, like a pride of lions. And so again, like you could be meeting this person through a friend of a friend, or through a coworker, you know, someone who's in your inner circle. Also, I mean, like with the red string of fate, like how many degrees of separation are between you and this person, because you are tied by the string. Sorry, I just shook the camera. So yeah, there may be fewer degrees of separation between you and this person than you realize. And when I say degrees of separation, I'm referring to how many people are connecting you. Like a friend of a friend of a friend, right? A friend of a family member, a coworker. Like how many degrees of separation are actually separating you? Okay. Now we have Pisces energy coming through. So this person could also be quite imaginative, quite creative. They could be pretty stylish themselves, you know, they could have a unique sense of style themselves, and that's why they recognize and appreciate your style, and how you present yourself, and someone who appreciates beauty. And you know, and Pisces tend to be pretty individualistic. In the same way, I think of Aquarius as being pretty individualistic. In a less intentional way, like Pisces are like, I don't know, like they're kind of in their own world, and so this person could daydream a lot. They could have a pretty vivid imagination as well, and they may be psychic without knowing it. So they may have had like dreams about you, or they may have seen signs about you as well. And now we have Sagittarius coming out, so another fire sign. So definitely, it reminds me with the arrow here of like Cupid's arrow striking. But anyway, so this again makes sense that this person would speak to you first if they're a Sagittarius, because Sagittarius people tend to be pretty blunt, pretty honest. And they're like Leo is fixed fire, but Sagittarius is the heat that scatters from the fire. So again, like a really warm, inviting energy, someone who just makes you feel very comfortable, someone who's funny, someone who's gregarious, someone who is just really comfortable, I feel like, in social settings, someone who, I feel like this person has a balance, what's it called, like an ambivert? I may be saying that wrong. Someone who can be extroverted, but also someone who can be introverted, and they kind of just move between that space as they need to. But yeah, I also feel like this person's going to be someone who's really honest, and when they give you that like initial compliment, you know, like whatever they're complimenting you on, because it does feel like that's going to be like what breaks the ice between you two, is them complimenting you about something. For most of you, it's going to be like your style, just because that's what they're noticing first, but or some form of creative expression that you have. If you are like, yeah, I do have an online business, or yeah, like I do create this thing, or I am an artist, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, it feels like that's what's going to break the ice between you two. You can trust that it's a genuine compliment. They're not just saying that to flatter you. Like Sagittarius people tend to mean what they say, and they don't tend to have a filter. So with like, if they think something, they say it. And so you can trust that it's honest. Okay. All right. So group 3, this was your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonated. And thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you all. And please take care. I will see you in my next one.